Welcome to part 2 of December's meeting. In this part, we invited Clarence Creek Wood Select to tell us about their products and services. We began recording Shireen's presentation a little after her introduction.
Business for more than 30 years. About 7 years ago, we took over the business. It is mainly me and my husband. Occasionally we get some help, but that is basically us running the business. The nature of the business has not changed since, last time we were here. I don't know if anybody was in that presentation. But we have tried to improve and make it easier both for ourselves and for our customers, actually, so that it is easier to offer what we have and make it a better experience and be more efficient with the work that we do. I have a couple of slides, but I try actually to give you more information about what we do, services that we offer, and if anything comes up, we can be of help. You know where we are. And we have also, website, emails, and other ways of being in contact, with you. If you have any questions about, any of the services. So what we offer at this point, we sell wood. We have a warehouse. We just recently built a new building to actually house all the wood that we have. We have boards, we have live edge rounds, and depending on the need, we can get plywood and other types of specialty types of wood for our customers. What we sell, we don't sell construction wood, we don't sell firewood. So what we have, it is basically furniture grade wood. Mostly it is kiln dried. It is good to go inside the house. A lot of that is professionally kiln dried, but usually they are straight boards that we buy and sell. Once in a while we get our hands on logs and we mostly cut live edge, because if needed then we can cut them into straight edge, but it is easier for us to maintain that, and that is what is, usually we cannot buy live edge. These days it is very difficult to get it from customers. And we have, of course, with the live edge and things that we mill ourselves, it is local wood. But we also get exotics from our suppliers. So everything colorful, basically, that is imported. So we sell those as well. Other than that, we offer services in our wood shop, sawmill, and kiln. They are independent, basically. You don't have to, have us, mill the wood for you to kiln dry. If you have it milled somewhere else, we can kiln dry for you. If it has been somewhere, sitting for years, you can still bring it to us. We will kiln dry for you. The milling, you can ask us to mill something and take it. You don't have to have us, kiln dry or do anything else. These are independent, basically, where we can help. We do that. Sometimes what we do is just, one cut. The piece is, has been there for a long time and it is being used for something else. You just need something special. We do that. There is a minimum charge of $50, but it usually covers actually the overhead of, talking about the project, what needs to be done for us to figure it out and, doing it. Even if it is just one cut, maybe it is very short, not a whole lot of work. And then we do kiln drying. We have currently 2 running kilns. Years ago when we came here, we didn't dry oak. It was a little bit more corrosive. On the equipment, we have changed it. Now both of our kilns, they can dry oak as well. And we have actually on our website a full page about kiln drying, how it works. If you have never done that, it is a good place to get started, to get some information. Because usually these are things that we explain to, especially the first time, just customer for kiln dry that have never done that. We serve public. Basically, it is open to regular people. It's not a production, or huge mills that we kiln dry for. Therefore, we have some. So sometimes there are challenges, sometimes there are also, it's just the nature of the work that we do. We never know how much wood we are getting, we don't know how much, the type of the wood. They can be round, they can be milled in different ways. Sometimes the milling is done better than others, and it makes our life easier. At the end, we have to play actually with what we get to get the kiln running and to have it at capacity so that it functions well. So the details, if the log has not been milled, you can get some information what would be the best thing, thinking about your project, what you want to do, and then go with the cutting, the thickness, the length, and just basically to have a better yield at the end. There's a lot of information there, but if there is anything, of course, that is new or is it specific to your project, you can let us know. We try to figure out and answer that. So the sawmill, also we get into that. It is also open to public. We just do milling from small pieces to big. There is a limitation at how small a piece can be for that, for the sawmill to be safely operated. But generally, it covers practically everything that we have seen, even with the latest trends of large slabs and big logs. We are planning to have seminars, courses, and workshops. There are things that we can offer ourselves. My husband actually has been a woodworker. He loves intarsia. That is where his heart is if he has time to do. Other than that, there are lots of people who do turning and specific marquetry and different types of projects that we are hoping to bring that to our customers. So we are working on that, but hopefully we get to it even in terms of having the space properly set up for that, as well as the timing, so that everybody is here with their schedule and such. Yeah, this is this is our new building. If you have been there to our place before, you know that there was an old shed here. It was our storage. We used to have posts and odd pieces of wood, big pieces there, but it had to be replaced, and we needed more space for the rest of the wood that we had. So we got the building actually together this year. I think it is now more full than this picture. Here we can have the forklift actually helping us to move things around, and we are hoping that it makes it easier to find those special pieces or the wood that we need for a specific project. What we have. We have the regular, stock, maple birch, or walnut, depending on the trend. Sometimes some woods are more in demand because it is not framing, wood that we sell. We have a limited stock of pine. That is a little bit different, but people use it for also for furnitures. But other than that, we don't grade. Even if we mix something, if we can create, for example, posts or big pieces for for mantles and things like that, we can do that. But we are not grading them, so they are not. If somebody needs a stamp, that's where they have to go to big lumber stores. But what we usually we get, as I said, dimensional boards. It's the straight edges.
Do you have ash?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
Usually what we try to keep 1 inch, also 6/4, and 8/4 in stock. For some of the species, depending on the demand, we will have 10/4 as well, 2.5 inch. Usually it is red oak, birch, excuse me, maple. Those we carry as well. But ash is one of the species that we definitely carry. It is. We felt when we started in the business that it was a little bit underappreciated, but it is, it is still in demand, and we try to carry as much as we can.
How long have you been owners?
Pardon me?
How long have you been owners?
7 years.
I remember going there 20 years ago. So was it SCA?
Mr. Yeah, he's still around. He had to retire actually. My husband was a customer of Mr. Atiye, and he met him at a wood show which unfortunately we don't have anymore.
Right, that's right.
Yeah, that's he's still there, and for the first time we took over late 2016. That's why 2017 when we came here, it was still all new. But he was there for us. I mean, we could not have. If you know him, he was such a. He was knowledgeable, but also very very nice person. We could have not asked for more support. So, and he's still around if you have any questions. Yeah, that's it.
He's part of the organization?
No.
He's
No,
available.
he sold actually the place because he had to retire. And if you were there, he lived on the property. This is actually our situation. So it is the house and the business, in the same place. So it was a little bit special case that
We had to leave.
he had to leave basically. Yeah. So that's when.
Had to evict him.
No, I think he was. I mean, it was just the way it was. When he started, it was not easy actually to have a wood business. He had to focus more on the shop. Even the suppliers, they wouldn't sell wood to a smaller business. He had his connections because he was a grader for the Ontario Lumberman Association, and that's how he was able to secure some wood.
He actually talked here. We
He
invited
did?
him into
Yeah,
talk.
okay, then you know how, we still do appreciate whatever he has done, because times were different. And starting from scratch, he did a lot, to keep the business
In your
going.
background, you learned everything with this business, or you had a background?
Well, my husband was a woodworker for
Right.
more than 10 years. For me, no, it was new. It was everything I have learned. But when we took over, it was such that we kept our jobs. My husband we come from high tech, so that is the background. But we kept our jobs, and we just, for one person, it was way too much to handle. So I had to help. I was lucky that even at that time I was working from home, so we had the flexibility actually to just. Learn. So everything I have learned is in the past 7 years. I'm still, I don't really call myself a woodworker. I do things, in the shop, and, I can in the business, but I'm not a cabinet maker, I'm not a turner. I took a course here actually, a seminar here for pen turning, but I do work in the shop, but I'm not going to finish, anything, complicated like the project that you see here. But my husband was way more into that, and if you have ever met him, he's very, if he has a hobby, he's very serious. Yeah, he just, but there are also aspects of the work that you have to learn on the job. And times have changed as well. When we came, the demand for live edge was not like that. Doing the epoxy and, going with, different type of wood. Just having the live edge, it changed the way sawmill worked. It changed, the dimension has changed. When we started, a lot of tabletops that we made were 3 by, or 2.5, 3 by 6. That was pretty standard. Nowadays, 8 feet, 9 feet, 10, 11, that's the thing. We had to learn. We have to had to equip ourselves as well.
Adapt.
For that to be
Adapt to the,
exactly. We are not getting any younger to we need equipment just to be able to manage. That's really the
Pretty
nature.
amazing story here from high tech.
Thank you very much. I still have my old job. I do still part time. So for me, but my husband quit actually his other job about 2-3 years ago. So he's there full time, and so yeah, we are happy that we survived. It has been difficult for a lot of small businesses, and so we made it. So we are happy to be here, and we hope that we can equip ourselves better to make it so that we can be here actually. As long as health and the circumstances allow us, so that it is still we provide a service that is useful.
Where are you located?
Clarence Creek, we are east of Ottawa, 20 minutes from Orleans, and if you have ever been to Rockland, we are 10 minutes from Rockland downtown. If you ever take that route, there is a Walmart that you see in Rockland. We are 10 minutes from there, about to southeast. that is where we are. It's not too bad, winter is different, but if it is, the weather is nice, it's not a bad drive. So it's, yeah, so we carry some roasted poplar and roasted ash. These are a little bit different. We didn't know they existed, years ago. But recently they have been actually quite popular because the color is nice. It is dark through and through, and then the price is better than walnut for anybody who likes the dark wood. But staining is another problem which you prevent. So with roasted wood, these have been actually one of the interesting newer products that we carry now.
Does it maintain its color?
Well, it should, as far as we know it does.
Okay.
I say it should because it is relatively new. I mean, we see more of our customers using it in the past maybe 2.5 years. So long term, I mean, there are wood that have been in the houses for ages, like cherry. People know if you have sunshine, then color changes. You move your furniture, you go back to what it was. So there are things that are known like that, but with roasted, we think it should. There is no reason that it changes. Sometimes things become depending on the finish they have and where they are. They could change, but so far we have not really heard anything back that says otherwise. The main thing is that the price is right. And if you sand it, let's say you have your counter, and you want to redo it, and it is easy first of all. And we usually don't do finishing, but if we suggest anything, we go with Lygus, countertop oil, which is easy to apply and maintain. And even if that needs to be shaved, so be it. You do a bit of sanding and you're back to where you were. It is easy to maintain it, and staining is not everybody's favorite form. So that's one thing. So it saves time as well.
Do you roast the wood yourself?
No. It needs the equipment that is needed is actually not cheap. It doesn't justify, and even the place that does it, usually we buy it. We buy roasted. If our suppliers has something available, we get that. But even if you have, let's say, milled your wood and you want it to be roasted, they do. We carry poplar and ash, but they do that for maple cherry and all kinds of wood. The quality depends a little bit on the wood because you are dealing with heat. That's a little bit of that, in the process. But you have to have at least 500 board feet for them to get your order. But it's a quick thing, if you really like to have that. The turnaround time is usually about 1 week, so they do that pretty quickly.
Are the roasters local?
In Quebec, the ones that we know of.
Okay.
We don't know, I don't know them directly. Probably my husband has talked to them because he knows what would mean for us to ship anything. But also with the shipping these days, it's a, it has changed. It is more difficult to find, reasonable, price for shipping. So it kind of adds to the cost. And at the end, what we buy from our customer, for our suppliers, is a better price than if we mill something and we send it for roasting, because we have to add to the shipping costs and everything and the waiting and things, and then at the end we're okay. If you really like that look of walnut, if you are not allergic to anything, and if the you're ending up with the same price, so then it's doesn't justify it. It's a specialty thing. Another specialty actually handled wood that we used to have was steamed cherry. That is another one that we can't get it anymore, so we still do have a little bit of that. But that is another heat-treated, process but it is steaming, and it causes cherry to have, less contrast. Some people don't like the sap, They want it to be all, that reddish, the color. Steamed cherry has that, and it is nice actually. You can cut, and most of the time they do that for 1-inch cherry. You don't find it for even 6/4. It is rare to find, steam. Not for 2-inch because the heat and steam, it has to really get into into the wood, and so apparently it works for 1-inch best. For some reason, I think probably again the cost, it has stopped, but we still have a little bit of that. It was an interesting one, and it was one of the cherry is one of the woods that people have either they a special relationship to it. They either love it or they don't like it at all. It's very interesting, but definitely the steamed cherry, if it matters for the project, that is one option. It's an interesting wood actually, an interesting color. So other than that, I don't know how you're doing with the time.
Also, you're fine.
Yep. The exotics, of course, we don't deal with import. Yeah.
A little note on the roasted, when you use it, it's also rot resistant. You can use it outside.
We haven't tried that. One of the things is if people want something to go outside, they usually don't want to pay for that a whole lot.
Yeah.
And compared to even cedar, even pine, the roasted wood is still more expensive. So I don't know if anybody tried it. But, we have had people, we have, customers that had it for, kitchen, countertop island and everything, and even somebody used it for a closet inside. But outdoor, I don't know, to be honest with you. I really don't know how it behaves, because it is dry.
I put a deck down out of poplar, roasted poplar, and like it's 20 years old and it's no signs of rust on it.
Well, that's perfect to know, because to us, roasted poplar feels dry. And the question is how much. Probably you have sealed it very, very well, because it has, because of the dryness, it has the capacity to absorb the moisture. So the way it behaves, if you're happy with that, I'm happy to hear that, because at least we have something to report on, This is how it behaves.
But if you're making, let's say, a front door or something like that, like maple, roasted, it's perfect for it.
Yeah, yeah. If it is, sealing makes a big difference.
Yeah.
The finish of the wood, and it's one of those things we don't do a whole lot of finishing. We are really not set up for that. It needs its own space, and it takes time and for to cure and everything. We are not really even with the new space. We still find actually we don't have enough space for that. But it matters a lot how the wood behaves. Even if it is kiln dried and everything. But I find for wood that goes outside, a lot of times people even don't want anything to be kiln dried. I mean, so they prefer to the price to be right. Pay less for that. Doesn't matter that much because otherwise, for example, white oak is a really good choice, but not necessarily people go for it. It's just too expensive. The exotic. All the colorful, wood that these are imported. We don't deal with them. We just buy, from our suppliers. They are beautiful, as you all know. We have purple hearts, yellow hearts. There is Bengi's, the brown oak, paddock, the orangey, the bloodwood, everything. And we cut them to short, length if people want that. Usually they use it for an accent, in a project, and they are more expensive. But interestingly, the exotics come in really long board. They are solid and they are long. It's very easy to find them in 12, 13, 14 feet long pieces. That they are really nice. However, usually the price and the type of project causes, actually people to need just a little bit of that, and we cut that. We understand that it matters, if you need just, 1 foot, 2 foot and a half of certain wood, we do that for you. So hopefully it is easier to kind of justify the price and incorporate that in the project. So The services that we offer, so at the, in the wood shop we do quite a bit of foresight dressing. We do glue-ups. It is easier for a lot of people to, even if they can do that, to leave it to us, because at the end, especially with the project, if it doesn't go through a planer, or if they don't have white planer, we have the wood bees. We can surface to up to about 6 feet wide. It is helpful to get this flattening done after the glue up. Sanding, we are actually in the process of setting up our stroke sander, so that can do 9 feet. We are really looking forward to that, because that's what we need. If you have worked with CNC, or even if you have seen what woodbees can do, you usually have the markings after flattening. No matter how sharp the knife is, no matter how careful you go, or just you really shave a teeny tiny bit of the wood, still you can have the markings. And if you don't like them, so a good sander is really in order. So that's what we are looking forward to have it set up.
It's a drum sander?
No, this is a stroke sander.
Oh.
What is that?
Stroke sander, it is, you have a table, and then you have a belt sander, basically. It's a huge belt sander. And so the belt is running, you have your piece there, and then you have to learn, there's a muscle, a memory to build when working with that. But you just move your, the table, let's say it's 9 feet this way, and let's say you have 4 feet, that's your tabletop. You move your tabletop to go underneath that belt sander, and then you apply pressure to that. So again, it's not completely automatic. It's not like a drum sander that the pressure is automatically there, but so you have to kind of develop the feel for that, so for that to be even. But it is powerful, and it does a faster job. Because sanding, I'm not sure how many people actually really like sanding. It makes a big difference,
Nobody likes sanding.
There you go. And yeah.
So if I do, say, 8 in-grain cutting boards,
Yeah.
and I've glued them up, and I've surfaced them, and I've scraped them, but I need a final sanding job, can I take it to you? And will you, do it and charge me?
In the near future, yeah.
Okay.
Do you have a drum sander?
Well, it's not working right now.
Oh,
so
okay.
there was a piece that had to actually, we have to have somebody, a machinist to kind of cut it for us, yeah. But it was also, it's nice actually, it's about 25 inch. But these days, it's very easy to go beyond that,
Yeah.
just, that's the thing. It is much better quality than the 100 that I do, with my palm sand. It's just how it works. But there is a limit to the width that it can work. We have looked at, as we were looking into upgrading our sanding, system. It is, we look into drum sanders, but also it goes to 50, 51 inch. Some of them are the open-ended one that you turn, the piece. That's another thing. Looking at the price that we found the stroke sander, it seems to be actually a good fit for what we do. We are hoping, to make the best of it, because it is actually huge. I mean, the footprint of the stroke sander is large, so it is not something that people can really have at home. It's just too big for that. But if we can do that, we are hoping for that to be quick. So the price of sanding would be also reasonable if we offer that service. So any questions? Yeah, the slab flattening, this is our wood vis. This is basically the machine that I work with most of the time, and I really, really like it because it does what it promised to do. We used to have just a router, with the frame, and I'm sure you have seen it a lot. Yeah, that's it. But with this one, first of all, the router head is bigger. It goes, it is 5 inch, but there is an overlap, when you do passes. It ends up being 3¼ almost. But it does actually, all the settings that you need to have enough overlap, just to catch everything and the opportunity to shim, pieces, whether they are small, if they are too big, if they are weird, if they are warped, if there is something that you need to watch and adjust your shimming, as you are flattening. This machine allows that. It's not a CNC. It does have a motor that can actually do passes, but usually used as a finishing touch. It is the last step. You don't really want to have a whole lot of, just catching a big chunk or a knot or something like that. It stops. In that sense, it is not a CNC, but the idea is that, it gives you the surface, it gives you the opportunity to adjust your piece, secure it as best as you can for, round pieces that if they don't go into a planer, well, planer is not an option at all, but even smaller pieces that you can put through a planer, usually you lose the edges. They are chipped or depending on the direction, so it's not always really a nice finish on the edges. With wood-vis, we can go very slowly. We can shave really a teeny tiny bit and just see how much we are really, shaving. And sometimes the look are deceiving. People bring things and they, tell us it's pretty flat, and we look at it. It looks pretty flat, but when you, start shaving, you notice you're picking from one side too much, then you need to adjust. You shim the other side, bring it up. So with wood-vis, I'm big actually fan of it because it does allow us to keep as much as thickness as possible, and especially when people do epoxy. That's another problem. So I'm not a big fan of shaving the epoxy. It's not toxic, I understand, but the fume is not, doesn't smell the best. So, however, because it is expensive, a lot of times people really don't do a full pour, on the epoxy. So that causes actually, even when we get, let's say the piece to shave, we try to be very careful of how we shave it, what is stable, and even when you work with the jointer and planer, you really need the stability at the bottom to for something to be joined properly, or for the planer, the better support you have underneath, the flatter it is, the quality is better. That's why you really can't do just one joint, or you cannot throw something in a planer and just do one side cleaning. We get asked just mostly for the price, just to keep the cost low. People tell us, just do one side, cleaning for us. But a lot of time it doesn't work that way, because you see where you start. Usually on a wood-vis, you need the support. You need the piece to sit nicely on the bed. You end up with the bump at the top. So you get that bump out, and then you flip it, and then you have the corners actually poking out, and then you do the corner, and then you flip it back, and then you see you are not really going back to the same surface. There are places we usually mark with the pen. Just you see what you shaved again and what not, and it shows. So a few times flipping is in order for most pieces. I mean, that is unless it doesn't matter for the project, where the piece is going, what is happening afterwards. So anyway, this is actually one of the really nice tools that we have, and it can help if you have a piece by any chance that needs to be carefully shaved, as long as there is no nails in it. So that's if you don't have,
How big a piece can you do?
6 feet in wide and 14 and a half feet length. Sometimes, when the pieces are long and narrow, we just put it diagonally. We go a little bit, higher, but 14 is plenty, let's say, for that. We do a little bit of router and CNC work. Our CNC is small, and if you have seen it, so that's the hobby CNC that my husband used to have. It is still there. Once in a while, we use it for a project. We have our molding machine. We do flooring boards for the tongue and groove for the ceiling and the walls and things like that. We do crown molding, baseboard, handrails, anything basically. It is a custom work, and it is not cheap. Usually, it doesn't end up to be cheap. If people can find anything, something that they want in the stores, it is less expensive, definitely. But if they cannot find it, if it has to be something that matches, what they already have, it is old, it is something, to compensate for, I don't know, for the thickness of the flooring that was there before, we can help with that. There is usually a little bit of cost. If we don't have the knife, we can order it. We get the profile and we order it. It is relatively quick. And we usually absorb half of the cost of the knife, and we keep it. So this is most of the time actually something that works for both. But it can be done. It is really nice, and the cut is really, the shaving is really nice and precise, and it's really, the surface is very smooth. So sawmill, we have we have a wood miser that goes. It can square about 38 inches, so it is for 28-inch, logs it can cut. And but for anything bigger than that, we have Lucas mill. That can also cut to a little more than 6 feet.
Those are bandsaw?
It is.
Woodmiser's bandsaw.
It is. Woodmiser is the bandsaw. The Lucas is a chainsaw.
Oh.
Yeah, Lucas is a chainsaw. But that's the thing. It goes slow, but it is mighty. It can really handle those big, logs. Both of them can do. Woodmiser is set up for 21 feet long, but the Lucas is, I think, 18. The standard frame, but it has extension if it has to be. But usually we don't go really beyond that. Even that 18 is a lot, because the weight of the log is so much that hardly anybody can move it. So that is another consideration of keeping the length or the piece in size. But pretty much we can handle that. We used to have other people that do the Lucas part for us, but at some point we realized it is a little bit difficult to rely on other people's schedules. So now if there is a big log, also the transportation is an issue. If the log is big, so practically we can be, like a one-stop shop. So that's the one transportation. Log comes to our yard, it is milled. We will have the slab, we can kiln dry, and then even if shaving or afterward is needed, we can do that. And then a lot of customers will take the boards, but we also sometimes make something from that. Just having that capacity helps us actually to save a bit on the time and the arrangement for the trucks and for the all the transportation in between.
Do you have equipment to move those logs around, like tractors and stuff?
We do have tractor. Yeah, definitely. We have tractor. We have forklift as well that can handle bigger pieces even. We have a grapple. So on the trailer that can grab actually some, we can pick up logs. We don't do that often because a lot of times it takes so much time, and and the logs can be heavy. They become heavier quite easily. I mean, they don't look like much, but when you go there, depending on where the log is, where your trailer is, sometimes you need bigger equipment to be able just to move that. So usually we outsource that part. But when the log is on our side, we can handle that. These, if you have been to our place, these are probably that's the familiar structure. That is the kiln. This one is, I believe it is 19 feet long. The other one is 17. We can have the width we can dry is. We usually try to stay about 4 feet. That's where we create our bundles. But for now we have the equipment, at the lower part of the structure that takes up some space. But even if it is something that's 5 feet or something, depending on how big the slab is, we can still manage some of that. But that's it. These are all upgraded and new equipment, and they work quite nicely.
Do you have to match up the thickness of the wood after each run?
We separate 1 inch from 2 inch, and we have to play with that a little bit. Sometimes I would say we never put 1 inch with 2 inch. But sometimes if you have 6/4, 1.5 can go either way, and it also depends on the species. If you have 1 inch hardwood, we can put 2 inch softwood with it. So we play with that a little bit. There are some limitations, but generally what we do for the kiln is we ask for the wood to be air dried. We don't put the real wood in the kiln because that is a whole lot of trouble actually, usually with the staining and just the quality won't be there. That's one of the challenges actually that we have, because we have to make sure that we have the same type of wood that go into the kiln. 2 inch goes in with the 3 inch, 3.5. More than that, we have always, to warn our customers if they ask for something that is 6 inch, thick, or 8 inch, or it's, for whatever reason they want to have that, keep it that way. We tell them that really inside the core of the wood will not be dry. We cannot promise. It's just the system. It is so that the heat doesn't really go that deep. Sometimes, depending on the situation, we put them through 2 or 3 cycles. That is one way of dealing with. Sometimes we get pieces that are just cut cutting with the chainsaw is not always perfect. That's one of the things. And sometimes you get it, if it is at the bottom of the log, you have so much difference between, let's say you have a round, and then the difference between the sides is so much that we know, even if you put it in the kiln just like that, you take it out, you are flattening, and you are losing good 1.5 inches here. That is your surface that is drying. So basically it doesn't make sense to dry it and then shave it off. For those, we suggest actually shaving before the piece goes into the kiln, so that it is relatively, in the same. We expect to shave off, 0.5 inch to 1 inch. That is pretty normal, depending on the species. But yeah, we usually suggest a pre-shaving. So we understand that there is a cost to it, but when we explain the reason for that, usually people are happier, because otherwise you will take your wood, you are shaving really the nicely dried part, and then then you have again moisture, and then the piece can warp and curl, and it's not really what we want either. So, that's what we do. But we try our best. We try our best actually to go really with what what the suggestion is and use of the kiln. You can't put just small, 4x4x8 bundle, in a kiln for that to work. You really have to have it more full. Depending on the situation, it's a time-consuming actually
How long does it
process.
take to do a run?
Well, in the kiln, once the wood is in the kiln, usually 3 weeks is kind of, average. It depends. Ash is generally drier, let's say. If we have a lot of ash, can go faster. If it is,
So it's weeks?
it is weeks.
Okay.
But before that, it is, the 2-3 weeks is not really too bad, or even a month. It used to take even longer, with other types of the, we had another kiln with a different system. That time is still not too bad. But before that, the air drying, waiting for everything to come together for a kiln to be ready to go, that is another, challenge that we have to explain. We always tell people, it really tests your patience. But at the end, it makes a difference. So some people, they don't believe it in kiln drying at all, but to each their own. We still get the wood process for them. We still, do whatever they want, if it is flattening or, glue up. But we think actually, if something goes into the house, it's better we can. Yeah, as I said, in the shop we do a lot of projects. We don't finish them. Usually it is the parts that we can help with. For example, we don't do full, tables. We don't put legs in. Unless somebody really comes and say, I have nobody to do it for me. Then, yeah, we do a little bit of that. But other than that, we just make, the pieces, and they have a basic sanding. We try to get rid of the markings of the flattening surface if it has to go on wood piece. Yeah, the type of the thing that we put together is usually countertops, bar tops, and they are usually bigger for everybody to make at home. That's where we can help. We make shelves, panel stairs, anything that has that shape. If needed, we do a little bit of routing, that's it. If it needs to be a little bit bigger than what the people can handle, that's part of it. We do actually mantelpieces. Those are interesting because we both sell pieces for solid wood actually for mantelpieces, but we also do boxes depending on the color, the type of the wood they want, the dimension, and also the price, how much they like to spend. But that is one of the things. It is easy for us actually to find really that nice piece to that is little waste for people, but it does what they need to. Molding, yeah, that's what we do. Again, it is custom. If you don't find it anywhere else, then yeah, we can help it. We also do box beams. This is also we have the knife for to do instead of plain 45-degree, we do the tongue and groove cut. It goes into our molding machine, but it is really nice, and especially if you have to give it to someone to install and just glue up in on site. We can give them the panels. A lot of times people are covering a beam or just create a faux beam. Just they want that U shape. If it is okay when we glue the pieces together, we just give them the final piece. But otherwise, we can with the box with the tongue and groove, cut. It's much easier for them just with a little of glue and shaving. It stays nice and straight. Yeah, and that's hopefully in the future that we can bring some courses and classes and just have a little more fun and basically just yeah. Other than a lot of people they have learned to do woodworking. Depending on the circumstances, what they have come across, what they have learned, and what they have needed. There are so many creative people that they do something special, and we are hoping to be able actually to set up a space that is safe and nice actually to see how things are made and be inspired, and that's it. We also plan to offer basic woodworking. I mean, for a lot of you, I think it's something that you already know, but sometimes there are younger generation or people who are just new to woodworking. They want to do something for themselves. It would be nice for them to know what is out there, how they can pick actually the wood for the projects, and what works, what doesn't work. A lot of times people are used to seeing perfect pieces of boards, and that's what they are looking for. But a lot of times wood doesn't come like that. Not everything is pine. People are used to seeing what is sold at Home Depot, and those, and just you have the width that is cut. It is you can calculate very easily, and you can work with that. But that's one of the things that we are hoping actually to add to our services, is that just the basic knowledge of what works, what doesn't work. How to pick the wood that it works, what matters, and what necessarily doesn't matter for a project. Because if we all go for that perfect wood, the price will be much higher than any of us really like to see. Also, yeah, on glue ops, there are things people, may want to do themselves a little bit in smaller projects or anything like that. But that's really what we are hoping for. And this is actually the intarsia. It is in our shop. If you have been there, you have seen that. This is what my husband does. It is all actually different woods, and there's no stain in it. Basically, you work with the grain, you work with the coloring of the wood, and just the oil brings everything out, and that is, where the fun is. So, yeah, once we are all done, with all the improvements and everything that we have done, my husband will have time to do more of this. Hopefully, we'll have a new picture, for you. And that's it. So thank you for your time. I understand it took way more than actually was planned, but if you have any questions, feel free to ask, feel free to contact us. We have, our email is contact@woodselect.ca. It is basically me and my husband Emil. Usually he's the one taking emails and answering as soon as he can. We have, our website actually, we have put a few more pages, just about, we have an FAQ, we have information about kiln drying and everything. If there is anything that, that is not there, just give us a shout and we try to add it actually to the collection of.
What are your opening hours?
Pardon?
What are your opening hours?
Well, officially we are Tuesday to Saturday 8 to 4. But we live there.
Okay. So you just come out the door and say,
Most of the time.
yeah.
Most of the time this is how it goes. And for a lot of people, for pick-up, drop-offs,
Yeah.
they cannot do it during working hours. So we are there, we do our best to accommodate.
So you try to get a weekend is what you're saying.
I'm hoping.
Yeah.
Still we don't have, a kind of reliable Sunday off. But we have to live with that. So we talk about it, and it would be nice. But
Do you ever have air dried longer?
very little.
Very little?
Very.
Because that would cost a lot of money to keep it.
Storage, that's the thing. It depends on the demand. We keep air dried for the cannon, for the gunnel of the cannon. That's what people want, a little bit of bending. So they need that to be air dried. We keep that. Other than that, very little for turning, because we don't have too much for turning. We try to keep, as we mill, we try to keep pieces that are good for turning and they can be used, and turners don't want it usually to be air dried, to be kiln dried. Other than that, I would say no, not much. Not much. It has to have a purpose, and even for the canoe, the pieces that we make, they are 18 feet long. You really need to have a use for that, to dedicate the space to that. So it is, but also, if you have, let's say, made something, or if you have come across, when we demolished the old shed, we got some wood that, was there. Some people like the gray one, they don't really care about it. Air drying. Or if something goes up, like coloring a shed outside, it doesn't matter that much. Sometimes if it is there, it has not gone to the kiln yet, we offer that. That is not a problem. But usually, intentionally keeping air dried, little, not that much.
Yeah, because it takes like 5 to 6 years. before you can
And
use it.
it doesn't kiln dry. The process is a little bit different. With the air dry, when you measure the moisture content, you usually go to 10, 12, even if it is years and years. But that is the nature of drying. So with kiln dry, we usually go to between 5 and 8. Not everything dries at the same amount. So we have to, if you have different species, and that's one of the challenges we have, we don't know exactly what we get. But we try to go, to a place that at least, the maximum that we have is 8%. But even then, people do epoxy with same wood, and then you have shrinkage, you have, warped edges and things like that. So going with air dry doesn't serve many purposes. That is really
It's handy if you're steam bending though.
we don't do steam bending. But that's the thing. We don't have a whole lot of demand either. But we mill. If what we buy from our suppliers, they're usually kiln dried, professionally kiln dried, and that's there are a few that cut fresh cut. If somebody needs a post or beam or something like that, that is different. But most of the time, it is kiln dried. But we mill ourselves. If somebody really doesn't need, kiln drying, we do that. Recently, actually, we had a project. It was the company. They do. They wanted actually the cover for what is it? Hay wagon. The flat. Bottom of the hay wagon. They didn't care if the wood is kiln dried, and the price was right. Just fresh cut. That's what we gave them. So we can. I mean, there are depending on the need. If the demand is there, we can just keep it because we know the project matters. What is the purpose, for the wood, and if kiln drying doesn't make a difference, so be it. Yeah, we are on Facebook and Instagram, of course, these days. But that's you can see the projects actually that we make, and a lot of times what we make, as I said, is not finished. People finish it and usually send us a picture, which is really nice, and it is in the setting of the home that it's much nicer than what we see in the shop. So we are always looking forward to that part. But you can see on Instagram, and my husband tries to post actually what the projects that we have. So that's it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.